Hey everybody, I'm Emily,
I'm Kevin.
and we are running to the cruise. Quite literally, actually. Let's catch you up here. Okay. So it's the night before. We're going to be going on the Norwegian EPIC, leaving from Barcelona, going to France and Italy, and then coming back home from Barcelona. I'm excited, are you?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's just talk about this for a second, because this has been a road to get to where we're at today. It's been emotional.
Yeah, it's been a lot going on. Some good news, mostly good news.
Good news now. Weird news.
Yeah. Well, I think the last time we recorded was we were concerned as Norwegian had let us know that we were going to have to test on our own to come back to the United States. But then probably the best news, the United States, as of about a week ago, stopped the requirement to test. So that's a great weight lifted off our shoulders and good peace of mind. Unfortunately, we did go out and buy about $180 worth of these eMed tests, so we could do that. But we'll maybe use that for something else down the road. Or, I mean, it's really not that big of a deal.
Right. It was just when this happened, we had thought that maybe that could happen, that they could do away with the testing to get back in, but we weren't 100% sure. Nothing was clear, and we definitely like to travel prepared so that there's nothing's ever going to go 100% perfectly, but as few unexpected things as possible. We always try to do the ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And so this is why we spent the money and got the eMed tests, only to be told that we were not going to have to. Also with testing, we did take our COVID test today, which was another thing. We are both COVID negative.
Woo! So that means we can get on. So it's 3 days before the cruise, and for non-US ports, you have the 3-day window instead of the 2-day window. Now there's been some talk about the European routes getting rid of testing entirely, but and one smaller cruise line did do that already, but Norwegian at least has not as of the time of our sailing. They likely will soon. But we did get that test done at Walgreens. And do you want to tell about the Walgreens adventure today?
He's throwing this one over to me. Well, let's just go back for a second and set the scene. Today is actually, hi Daisy, our dog is here. It's actually June 16th.
Right, and we leave
My
tomorrow.
last day of school was yesterday, June 15th. My birthday was June 14th. I'm tired, like just tired in general. So he was awesome and set up the appointments. You can do them online if you're looking to do it. Usually, 3 or so days before?
Yeah, 3 days, like I said, for the non-US cruises right now, and 2 days if you're leaving from a US
Right,
port.
I'm talking about when you can make the appointment.
The appointment was usually about 10 days out. So in Walgreens, it's either Walgreens or CVS around here, and they came out a little earlier, and it's the closest pharmacy to us had availability right away.
Yeah, so it was really good. So we did the drive-through testing. If you haven't experienced drive-through testing, you just pull up, and they actually had us hold up our driver's licenses. They verified all the information that he had entered in on the computer. They sent us the 2 swabs into the car. We did it. We put it back. We went to, we handed it back in, and they said we'd have the results in 2 hours.
And we had taken a cruise for spring break.
Notice the smile on my face.
And we went to CVS, and at least that testing part was actually much smoother, much easier. It probably took us 40 minutes sitting at CVS between the two of us. But what ended up happening, though, was they said, okay, you'll get an email within 2 hours, and we're waiting, no email. We wait a little longer, and we give them a call, and they're like, okay, well, we sent the email, we'll send it again. And then still didn't get it. We called again. So and we believe we gave them 2 different email addresses, each on a different account. So we believe it was on their side, and their email system was having some issues.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
they didn't admit to that, but
no, it's fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. What they had us do, we had to drive back over to the pharmacy and we got paper copies of it, which will be valid. It has the QR code that says that we're negative. And I'm just completely thrilled because the way that the policies are right now, that one test gets us onto the cruise ship and then we're good. So we're going to get there now and then we're going to come home. So we'll update you if there's anything else that happens with this once we get to Barcelona. But as far as I know, that's going to be all that we need to do with that. It was a little nerve-wracking. It's something that at one point today, I was like, well, if we can't get these, at least we have those e-med.
Yeah, and we're going to still
tests.
pack a few of the e-med tests.
Yeah, just on the off chance that we might need it for something. Again, going back to thinking ahead, just thinking ahead a little bit can save you a lot of headaches when you're out and about and doing the whole thing. So all in all, we also did not have to pay for the test. Some people, I think, probably are confused. Our insurance, we didn't even have to show our card.
Yeah, it was free. It's weird because when you go to the CVS site now, and if you say, okay, I just want to get a test for travel, they say, oh, well, you're going to get charged for it. So you have to actually give a different reason, which you can, because basically everybody, you could just say you've been around somebody who's had COVID, which probably everybody has. But it is odd that it looks like at least CVS is starting to charge again.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So try to figure out that scenario so you're not hit with any unforeseen costs. For me, my backup to this was being a teacher. Our county would send out pretty much almost daily, like, hey, there's a student at the school that has COVID. So I just had that armed with my backup, like, well, I mean, I do work at the school and here's this email. So I was hoping that they would just put it under insurance for that if they needed to, but they didn't even ask at this juncture. So it was a little bit of a wild ride. But
yeah, it's always interesting. Hopefully they will drop that requirement soon. It's just a hassle, and at this point, I think everybody knows we're living with it, the virus, and it's just something that would make everything a little easier. Because I believe the cruise lines changed their policy, so if we did test positive, we'd be basically out of luck. We would lose our money. So they know that, so they want to get that dropped as soon as they can.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, in this time that we're in right now, I'm hopeful that things become a little bit more user-friendly for travelers. It seems like it's heading in that direction. Yeah. So let's just, you know, keep hoping that it goes that way. But we also, you can start telling about the really good news that we got today, because I'm excited about this.
Yeah, so
go for it.
Norwegian also allows you to bid on upgrades. And we know that these boats for the most part aren't at capacity. So we booked as an inside, and we bid on a balcony. We put in actually, I think, the lowest bid possible, which was $150 per person. And since it's getting close to the cruise, we did get updated. We did get upgraded to a balcony. So that'll be nice. It'll be very nice to be sitting on the deck while we're pulling into those beautiful ports in France and Italy and Spain.
Yeah, a couple things I know I did just to reorient myself. Because we're going to be tired, we're leaving tomorrow, we're flying through the night. There's 6 hours, I believe, ahead over there whenever we get there. We're going to try to hopefully get some sleep tonight. We're going to, you know, we are run to the cruise, so we're actually going to take a nice run tomorrow morning to try to get our bodies, like, you know, maybe feeling a little bit tired, getting our exercise in before we sit in the plane. But, you know, when we do wind up getting over there, you know, I think that we are just going to need to reorient ourselves.
Yeah, and we are spending a night in Barcelona.
Yeah.
We've got a food tour book, so we'll have to take some nice pictures of the food we're trying, and we'll see some sights there too. That also gives us some buffer just in case something does go wrong with the flights, to get there a day early. We've got, for the red eye, we've got a super early flight. We actually we're leaving at 3:25 from Dulles, and we get into Germany for a layover at I believe it's 5:45. So we'll really be feeling like it's only 11 o'clock here when we get over there. So we'll give it a try to sleep, but we'll see how that works.
We'll see. But where I was going with this is just orienting myself, because I know I'm going to be probably a little bit tired, to exactly what it is that the ship looks like. And so I went back. We've been on the Epic 2 other times. It is epic. It's a big ship. So I was looking at, what room do we have in the stateroom? Where is everything placed on the decks? Where is the stuff that we're going to need to look for? So we're going to be able to find things maybe a little bit easier. I highly recommend that. Just be careful when you look on the internet. We don't pretend to know literally everything. And I am going to sit here and say, always do your homework, do your research, make phone calls, send emails, whatever you need to do. But we were kind of watching a video about what the cabin might look like, and the person that was doing the video, and it's on YouTube, totally wrong about like the stateroom types and everything. So you just need to be careful. They were in the same room that we know that we're going to be in, but they were calling it something different. Just be careful when you're on there, and always do your own work. But yeah, as far as packing, I think we're packed.
Yeah, I got a couple last minute things to do, but yeah, for the most part, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
We need to drop Miss Daisy off early tomorrow morning. She goes to stay with the nuns.
Okay, we have a place called Pause a While. Not everybody that's going to see this knows. We have a place called Pause a While outside of Warrenton, Virginia. We're in Prince William County, Virginia. And it is run by, I believe, Benedictine.
I think that sounds right. Yeah.
Nuns. And their whole calling is to take care of animals, and they have an amazing kennel. She is going to be around all of her friends. For all you pet owners, just find that spot that your pets love. What I loved about this place is she's 8 months old. This is our second dog, sadly, our first that we ever owned together. He passed away on Christmas Day. Still, we're sad. So we adopted Miss Daisy, and she's 8 months old now. And before she could go for this experience, we had a couple play days where they would have her just for a few hours, and she'd get to play with other dogs, and they'd get her used to the area and see what her temperament was, and they put them in really great play groups and see how they handle things. So she loves it there. For pet owners, definitely just find that situation that works best for you. For some, your pets might want to be in the house if you're going to be away for an extended time. We do have both of our sons that are going to be here at the house, but both of them are working, and they're both working different hours. One's working at a concert venue really late at night. The other one is a swim coach, and he's up really early in the morning. And both of them are probably going to be sleeping a lot during the day, which is her active time. So we wanted to make sure that she was taken care of too. So we did save up money to make sure that was part of what we were factoring into the trip too. You have to. You want to make sure.
Yeah,
but
she's really young, so she still needs a lot of attention.
She has no off switch right now. She's all over the place. But as far as packing, really we tried to do less is more. I do like to have a different outfit for every day, and I like my clothing. So I try to, again, use packing bags, and you'll see some things. We'll probably take you for a little tour of the cabin once we get onto the ship. And I'll show you how I kind of pack things to try to not overpack, but make sure that I'm adequately packed. I've got really good walking shoes packed because I know we're going to be all over the place.
We'll be walking miles every day for sure.
We'll be all over the place. But,
every day has a different port, so we won't have any outside of really the first day, which is kind of a day on the ship. We've got an early check-in, but we will be walking around in a different port, different city each day.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And I guess the other thing that I was going to say is, when we get on there, I think we're probably still going to kind of make sure that our shore tours are still going on and things are happening the way that we anticipated, because you never know. I mean, you just want to make sure everything that you had planned is still on par. Yeah. And I don't know, I'm getting pretty excited.
Yeah, and the follow-up from the last video as well, we did get our QR code yesterday.
Yes.
For our PLF for Spain. They're one of the few countries still doing that, but we are set. So yeah, we believe at least we have all the proper documentation that we have to get it both ways now.
Yeah, so the PLF, and like I said, he just said Spain is one of the last places to do it, but because we're going into Spain and out of Spain, when you travel in, they want to know where you're going in the country. So you actually almost it's almost like an application to travel around Spain, I would call
I
it.
think it's a tracking.
You have to announce like where you're going to be, and they need all of your information, and I guess it is for tracking purposes with COVID, but I don't know. It's one of the last places that still have it. I know we did that for Greece last year.
That's correct.
As well, but yeah, most places don't really need it. I have a teacher friend who's going to be in France, and she does not need a test, and she does not need that to go into France.
Yeah, I think France
has
has pretty much done away with everything, where some countries still require, over in Europe, that PLF, and then some require masks on board, like we're going in and out of Germany, so we have to actually wear a high-grade mask all the way through tomorrow, but on the way home we don't need to wear one at all because we're going through France. So
yeah, it's just
crazy.
There is a lot of, I mean, I guess you would call them hoops to jump through,
Yeah.
But that's what we needed. We knew that it's United, right? But then it's Lufthansa.
Through Lufthansa,
Yeah,
right.
so United and Lufthansa, I guess, are sister companies or parent I don't know. But because we are going in there where we won't have to wear a mask in the terminal for the airport.
But as soon as
But
we
the
get on
minute we
plane-
get onto the plane, we have to have the highest quality of mask. And thankfully, I was able to get a couple N95s. And we will have them on for about 8 to 10 hours until we are out of the airport in Frankfurt, Germany, and on our way. But no, I think we actually still
we have to wear
them
them all the way through, so we'll have them on for quite a while.
Yeah.
All the way through until we get out
Yeah.
of the airport in Spain.
It's going to be a little bit different than what we're used to here, but there's a phrase I like to use when I take my culinary students to cook and to compete. Got to risk it to win the biscuit. Sometimes you've got to take those chances. You got to do the hard things. You got to do the things that maybe you don't want to do. You have a mask on your face for 10 to 12, whatever hours it is. But the end goal is going to be getting to see this beautiful part of the world, several countries, in just a few days, and hit some highlights over there. So.
Yeah, and we're doing this on a budget that if it was back in 2019, it would be double what it would be right now for us to do that. Because if you look at, I think I said this on the first video, if you look at what the flights are alone, the flights prices have gone up. That's the cost of the flights that we are on are more than we paid for the entire trip. So I don't know how NCL worked that out, but they did. So this is definitely a unique experience, because
It is.
Otherwise we probably wouldn't be able to afford to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a teacher. He's an engineer. Things we have one in college, and we've had one who's just finished up with grad school and will be starting hopefully to work, but he's living back here with us. We have vehicles. We have, at one point in time, we had 3 households that we were supporting with the 2 of them with their apartments and whatnot. We have a Daisy who just came through here who likes to eat a lot and has vet bills. So nothing is ever easy. This is the type of trip that, because he was on top of things throughout the shutdown, when things started becoming available again and trips were starting to be a thing, these cruise lines, and there was other things too, not just cruises, that were offering deals like this. And this trip we're going on tomorrow was not planned until we were maybe 5 to 10 years from now. But because it was so inexpensive, we were able to do that now when we're a little bit younger and a little bit more mobile, I guess. So you never know when you're going to find these deals. In the past, when we were still having them in college and stuff is very, very tight, Travel Zoo is a good place to look to see, because they have a lot of all-inclusive deals. We found a great trip to London on a Black Friday special, and wound up being amazing. Iceland, I know, is one of those places that you can find deals pretty handily, where you can get there. If you fly through there, sometimes it's less expensive. You just never know when that travel opportunity is going to come up. But you also have to know when is the right time to go. I know I've heard a couple people that we watch pretty regularly on YouTube say, if you don't like wearing masks, maybe this isn't the time for you to go. If you don't like having to do the testing, maybe this isn't the time. If you don't like different rules in place, it's just all about personal.
Yeah, and then we're going at essentially peak or close to peak time. I guess
Yes.
July and August would probably be slightly higher peak, but going to Europe during that time. I think we've both been over to Europe once each independently. You went over in the summer around the same time.
I did. I was over the 4th of July.
So it wasn't as crowded. And when we went to Greece last year, that was the one unique thing about that. There was basically hardly anyone there. So this would be the first time us experiencing maybe peak crowds in Europe. Although I think at least U.S. travel over there is still kind of reduced, because up until last week, people were afraid of getting stuck, not getting back into the country, which was a risk we were willing to take.
Yeah, that was one of the things that the e-health test really helped us with, because that was my biggest fear. It wasn't, what happens if we test positive before we go. Well, I mean, that financially it would have been horrible. I do think the cruise line would have worked with us to figure something out. But we would have been here at home, and you're just at home and you're a little bummed out. But I was more worried about being stuck in Barcelona indefinitely until we could figure out where to go to get a test, and I don't know. And because we did what we did, the cruise line booked our flights. So we didn't really have control. They're getting us to the airport to get to this flight, but we were really worried about where to go to get the testing. And blessings abound that we don't even have to worry about that anymore. It's not a thing.
It's always good to have peace of mind
so,
while you're traveling.
Yes, always having faith and coming up with a plan. If it is something you want to do and something you want to see on this beautiful earth that we live in, I would just really always have your eyes and ears open and be willing to go that extra mile, and put the supports in place so that you have as few things to worry about when you go as possible, which I think I think we are doing that. The other thing that we're going to be doing over there, and this has to do with the running aspect of what we're doing. My whole thing, oh my gosh, she is Daisy. Our dog is eating my rosemary plant. She's literally taking it up out of the... Daisy?
I will get her down.
Okay.
She's got down.
Okay, she's down. Yeah, this is what happens when you have a puppy who is a black lab husky mix. She has got all kinds of energy, and she bad. She beautiful, and she a good girl, but she bad sometimes. With running, I really am looking forward to going to run a second Run Disney challenge. We did Wine and Dine last year, where we did the 10K and a half, and we're looking forward to doing Princess, which is in February. So it is, again, a 10K and a half. But the sign up for that is June 21st. We're in Rome. So it might be a little bit harder for us to sign up, but we've got some supports in place. And
yeah, I think there's some places right
try.
by the port where we're doing a truffle hunting tour that day. At least that's the plan as of now.
At least we would know if it was hunting rosemary. We'd have a dog right here that could find it.
But we should be back with the time difference in time to sign up. So we'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, we're probably going to do a little bit of a video. I think our plan is to kind of recap each day. I think we're going to take a little bit of footage with some of the excursions that we do, talk about some stuff. I know when we get on the ship, I'll probably document a little bit with you about the process.
We'll take some pictures too, and we'll edit that with our conversation here.
Again, thankfully, we have found out, we actually wound up calling Norwegian because I was trying to find what the embarkation process is in Barcelona to get on the ship. And of course, we found a YouTube video. And of course, the people that were doing it, I don't know what they were saying, but they made it seem like the most horrendous thing on the planet and that it took forever. And then it was like that was contradicting what it is. I don't know. I am not sure what we're going to encounter, but I know that together we're going to get through it. And again, you got to risk it to win the biscuit. This is a trip we've both wanted to really do together, and I'm glad that we're doing it.
Yeah, so hopefully our next feed will either be tomorrow at the airport or maybe when we get to Barcelona, we'll let you know, depending on how we're feeling.
Well, we shall see. It could be one tired little teacher right here, but you ready for this?
Yep, ready.
Let's go. All right, we'll see you soon.